this is my sincere opinion when it comes to the current situation of this country. I'm not speaking prophetically, but I'm speaking now as somebody who look at the situation.
Welcome back to RNN TV. A prophet who shocks Nigeria by correctly predicting President Tinubu's victory when everyone thought he would lose has just dropped a bombshell, warning that could change the entire 2027 election. Prophet Joshua Iginla told Peter Obi something that will make your jaw drop. Accepting anything less than the presidential ticket will be a waste of his political capital and could destroy his destiny forever. But here's the twist. This same prophet said back in 2023 that God would make the most criticized and hated candidates win the presidency. And that's exactly what happened with Tinubu. Now, he's saying Peter Obi is destined to rule Nigeria, but there's a catch that nobody saw coming. Let me start with something that will blow your mind. In January 2023, when political experts and even some APC supporters were doubting Tinubu's chances, Prophet Joshua Iginla made a bold declaration. He said God would make the most criticized and hated candidates win the presidential election. If you follow the 2023 election, you know that Tinubu faced massive criticism about his age, health, and past. But Prophet Iginla saw something others missed. He saw destiny at work. And this wasn't just a lucky guess. This man has been making accurate predictions about Nigerian politics for years. Now, here's where the story gets intense. Prophet Joshua Iginla of Champions Royal Assembly has warned Peter Obi against accepting anything less than the presidential ticket of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. But the prophet isn't just talking about political strategy, he's talking about divine destiny. He said that Peter Obi's political journey was not by human support but a spiritual arrangement. The prophet is essentially saying that Obi's rise from unknown politician to national phenomenon wasn't just good campaigning, it was divine intervention. Here's where the prophet's warning becomes brilliant political analysis. He told Peter Obi, "You don't empower a general by taking away his army." What does this mean? Let's talk about the obedience movement. This wasn't just a political campaign, it was a cultural phenomenon that awakened millions of young Nigerians who saw hope in Peter Obi's candidacy. So when the prophet said, "Don't take away his army," he's talking about this massive youth movement. If Obi accepts a secondary role in the ADC coalition, what happens to these millions of young supporters? Do they transfer their loyalty to whoever gets the presidential ticket, or do they feel betrayed and withdraw from politics entirely? This brings us to the heart of the current political drama. The ADC has been adopted by major opposition figures including Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rotimi Amaechi. It is supposed to be a united front against President Tinubu in 2027. But here is the problem. Coalitions require compromise. Someone has to step aside for the greater good. From a political standpoint, this makes sense. A united opposition has a better chance of defeating Tinubu. But the prophet is introducing a spiritual dimension that complicates everything. If Peter Obi's presidential ambition is divinely ordained, then any compromise becomes not just political calculation, but spiritual disobedience. The prophet's warning isn't just about Peter Obi, it is about the millions of young Nigerians who see him as their hope for change. For the first time in Nigerian history, young people weren't just complaining about bad leadership, they were actively organizing to change it. If Peter Obi accepts a secondary role and these young people feel like their movement has been betrayed, what happens to their political engagement? This could determine whether Nigeria's youth remain politically active or become completely disillusioned with the system. From the presidency's perspective, this prophetic warning might actually be welcome news. If Peter Obi insists on the presidential ticket and the opposition coalition fractures because of it, that works perfectly for President Tinubu's re-election strategy. A divided opposition is much easier to defeat than a united one. If the prophet's warning leads to internal fighting within the ADC coalition, the presidency won't need to do much campaigning. The opposition will defeat itself. Here's something most analysts miss. When people believe a candidate has divine backing, they are more likely to contribute financially to their campaigns, volunteer their time, and mobilize their communities. The obedience movement demonstrated this perfectly in 2023. If Peter Obi accepts a secondary role and is seen as compromising his divine mandate, that spiritual and financial support could evaporate. Political campaigns need money, and spiritual conviction often translates to financial commitment.
This is my prophetic advice as per what I am seeing. In the new coalition that you are doing, don't go for a second-class citizen. If they give you number one, then you are prepared. If they make you second-class citizen, don't lose your political capital and asset. Don't fall into a trap. That is if they will ever give it to you. Don't. Because in the first place, there are mighty armies behind you. If you lose your army, you will not be a general. It is better you wait patiently with your political capital and assets for such a time that permits you to breathe properly than to sell your birthright to Jacob. I say these things with serious sincerity with what I am seeing. Serious one.
Whether you believe in prophecies or not, this story reveals something crucial about Nigerian politics. Millions of Nigerians make political decisions based on spiritual considerations, and ignoring this reality means missing a huge part of the story. Do you believe that Peter Obi's movement was divinely inspired, or was it just good political organizing? And if the prophet is right about Obi's destiny, what does that mean for the millions of young Nigerians who see him as their hope for change? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever made a political decision based on spiritual considerations? Do you think prophecies have a place in modern democracy? Don't forget to like this video if you found this analysis thought-provoking. Subscribe to RNN TV for more in-depth coverage of Nigerian politics from angles you won't find anywhere else. And hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Until next time, stay involved, stay engaged, and keep questioning everything you hear in the news.